Hi, I'm Martin from Claremonts.com. This time I'm going to run you through how to play roulette, some strategies, some basic principles of the game, and a little bit of history as well along the way. The game of roulette then. What we have here, roulette wheel with 37 different numbers, the 0 and all the numbers through to 36. And what we're going to be doing is teaching you and showing you all the different betting scenarios in the game of roulette. Now, roulette is a game of chance. It's also what I always say, it's a game of risk and reward. And I will teach you the risky bets, I'll teach you the in-between bets, and I'll teach you the very, very safe bets as well. In the game of roulette, you can play riskily or you can play a little bit more aggressively. Let's look at the very safe bets first. These are the outside chances. Outside chances mean that by placing a chip on maybe 1 to 18, or maybe red, or maybe odd numbers, you're giving yourself 18 of the different numbers on the roulette wheel here. 18 of the 37 different scenarios will be winning ones for you. Obviously, that's not a very big risk, so we don't give you the biggest of rewards. If you look at here, low numbers, 1 to 18, if the number, it's in the wheel at the moment, it's number 15, you bet 4 chips, you win 4 chips, as simple as that. If you bet again, it was a black number, if you bet 3 chips on black, black comes in, you double it up. It's as simple as that. The only thing to watch out when you do these outside bets, they're very safe bets, but the 0 is not a winning bet on the outside chances. Low risk, low return. A nice way to start playing the game of roulette is the low risk bets. The outside chance, we call them, 18 numbers in your favour. You get paid even money, double your winnings if you have a winning return on the wheel. Following on then from those outside chances where you bet 18 numbers with 1 chip, the next least risky way of playing, fairly safe, is to do something like this. It's called a dozen, or the cousin of the dozen, which is the column bets that run up the table. Now, by doing these bets, what you're doing is you're giving yourself 12 of the different numbers on the wheel in your favour. In this case, there it is. First 12, very much self-explanatory. You're betting all the numbers here, 1 to 12. If you're going to do the column bets here run all up the table, the 12 numbers that run up the table there. If you have a winning chip, a little bit more risky than betting 18 numbers on the outside. You're only betting on 12 this time, so we're going to pay you a little bit more rather than being paid once. When you bet a dozen, you get a triple return if you're a winner. Again, on the column there, each one you bet, you win 2 more. Betting the columns, betting the dozens, 12 numbers in your favour. If you win, you get paid at 2 to 1 odds. What we've covered the outside chances, ways of backing 18 numbers with 1 chip. We've covered the 12 numbers on the dozens and the columns. You can't do 11, 10, 9, 8 or 7. What you can do though is you can bet 6 different numbers with 1 chip. What's it called? It's called a 6 line. How do you place it? On the little T junction here. If you place it here, you're covering all the numbers there, numbers 4 to 9 inclusively. If you move it down a little bit here, you're covering the numbers 7 to 12 inclusively. That covers 6 numbers. You've got 6 of the 37 numbers on the roulette wheel now, so the risk is increasing, isn't it, as we go along. Good news is, so's the return as well. So if in this example, the winning number, we'll drop the dollar in it there, is the number 11, you'll get paid at 5 to 1 odds for any of your chips on a winning 6 line. 5, 10, out they go. We're getting a little bit more return as we go along now, aren't we? 6 different numbers for you pays 5 to 1 odds. They're called a 6 line. Right, we've covered the outside chances, we've covered the dozens, we've covered the 6 lines. You can't cover 5 numbers with 1 chip. You can though, very, very easy and very popular bet this one. Something called a corner, that's what they're known as. A corner is when you bet with 4 different numbers with 1 chip. There it is, it's touching the 4 different numbers. You can maybe, if you like number 8, you can put it all the way around there. If number 8 comes, you've got 4 winning chips. If number 5 comes, you've got 2. They're called a corner. They're ways of betting on the 4 numbers you're touching with 1 chip. 37 numbers on the wheel. 4 of them are yours this time around. We're getting fairly risky now, aren't we, in our betting, so we're getting a nice return. Instead of winning 1, 2 or 5 chips this time, 8 winning chips for you when you have a winner. These are called corners. They pay 8 to 1, very, very nice, popular way of playing. Now there is a lovely bet that not a lot of people know. It's called the 0 corner, or the first 4. You can encompass the 0 in it. You pop it that little spot there where 0 and 1 meet on the outside. That gives you the first 4 numbers, 0, 1, 2 and 3. A nice way to play, including the 0, 8 to 1 odds. That's a corner bet for you. We can also do a nice bet. We've covered 4 numbers. We can do a little bit more risk. We're going to cover 3 numbers now. It's called a street. There it is. That runs down the table there. That's a street bet 7, 8, 9. That's a street bet there 1, 2 and 3. Again, of these 37 numbers on the roulette wheel, we're only going to bet 3 of them now. It's a fairly high risk strategy, we're only betting 3 numbers, so we get a lovely big return. 11 to 1 is a return for a street. In this example here, this would be a winning chip if the dolly was placed on the number 8, and we'd pay you, there we go, 11 chips for betting on a street. 11 to 1 odds, nice return for you. The next of our bets is a very, very popular one in the French. It's a very old traditional French game of roulette. It's called a cheval or a split. Here's an example of a split 4-7. You're splitting your stake between just the 2 numbers now. You're getting a very, very nice return for this. You've only got 2 of the 37 numbers in your favour, so we're going to give you a lovely return if you like 4-7, perhaps you like 7-10. 2 numbers in your favour. If number 4 or number 7 in this example is a winner, 17 to 1 odds. You keep the chip, of course, on the number, plus there's your 17 chips. That's a lovely return, isn't it? High risk, high return. That's the name of the game. Risk and reward. Lots of risk, lots of reward on a split or a cheval. 17 to 1 odds when you get a winner. The highest risk, the highest return in roulette is the en plein or the straight up. It's when you place your chip on just 1 number. You're not limited to betting on 1 number at a time. You can maybe do a selection of different numbers in straight up bets like this. If you find the winning chip, if you find the winning result, straight up there, just like that, if it was the number 8, will pay you odds of 35 to 1. As an example, if this chip was a £5 or a €5 chip, a £5 bet would return you 175 at 35 to 1 odds. It's the most risky bet, it's the most rewarding bet. Getting a straight up is a really, really good one for your e-wallet. In roulette, people quite often forget the green number on the wheel, the odd one out, the 0. Now, you get paid the same. It's a very, very commonly asked question, how much you get paid for the 0? Exactly the same as all the other numbers. If you bet on the 0 like that, straight up and en plein, 35 to 1 odds, just like every other number on the roulette wheel. Altogether, there are 7 different ways to play the 0. Let's run through them briefly so you know your options. You can play the 0 straight up like that. You can play 3 different chevals or splits. Here they are, 0-1, 0-2, or 0-3. They're all 17 to 1 returns, betting 2 numbers, 0-1, 0-2, 0-3. There's a nice little way to playing 3 numbers here on the T-junction. Let's have a good look at them. 0-1-2. This one here is 0-2-3. 11 to 1. It's like a street placement. The last one of the 7 different placements here is that lovely little one, the 0 corner, the first 4. 0, 1, 2 and 3. It's the least risky way of playing the 0. It returns you 8 to 1 chips, and it's a first 4 bet, 0, 1, 2 and 3. So altogether, 7 different ways of playing the 0. It's not necessarily the house number. You can have a very, very big win yourself on the 0 with one of these 7 different chip placements on the 0.